Hello friends, I welcome you in this lesson. So in this lesson, I am going to discuss a very important topic, that is inflation. Inflation is always in news. It is also one of the reasons why many governments have fell down. So what will be the coverage of this series? So in this series, I will be covering the different areas regarding the inflation. I will cover the meaning of inflation. What is the meaning of inflation? The causes of inflation, which can be demand pull, cost push, or structural reasons. I will be discussing the types of inflation, the types based upon the volatility, types based upon the government control, types based upon the speed of inflation, and based upon the causes of inflation. I will be discussing upon how to control the inflation, monetary policy, fiscal policy, and other administrative measures. Then we will discuss how do we measure the inflation. So measurement is done with the help of base year and price index. This price index can be in the form of CPI, consumer price index, and wholesale price index, or it can also be in the form of producer price index. Then we will discuss the recent trends based upon the economic survey and the newspaper reports. Then we will also discuss the associated terms which include the Phillips curve, deflation, disinflation, reflation, etc. Then we will also discuss the previous year questions which have appeared in the UPSC IAS examination and the other UPSC examinations. And finally, we will do the MCQ practice. So this will be the coverage of this inflation series. Now, what is the meaning of inflation? So friends, I am giving you 30 seconds to think about what is the meaning of inflation. So friends, I am very sure that you have a basic idea about the term inflation. So when the term inflation comes to your mind, it is mehengai, rise in the price, that comes to your mind. Yeah, it is true, but it is not the complete meaning. So what is inflation? So inflation is the upward movement in the prices of goods and services, upward movement in the prices of goods and services, and it has three peculiar features. First of all, it has to be persistent. What is the meaning of persistent? So persistent means it has to be a long-term trend. For example, the prices of tomato, today it is 20 rupees per kg, and tomorrow it becomes 30 rupees per kg, and the day next to tomorrow it becomes 20 rupees per kg again. Will we call it inflation? No. This negligible impact, this sudden increase and decrease will not be part of the inflation. We will always see the long-term trend. So persistent here basically means the long-term trend. Secondly, it is appreciable rise in the price. Appreciable. What is the meaning of appreciable? Appreciable here means the price rise is visible. It should not be only very negligible increase in terms of quantity. So if the price of potato increased by 10 paisa per kg, we will not consider it as the inflation. So if it is maybe by 0.001%, we will not consider it as the inflation. This will not be part of the inflation, right? So there has to be an appreciable rise. This appreciable rise can be 0.5%, 1%, 2%, or more than that. So this should be appreciable or visible increase in the prices. This is the second peculiar feature. And third feature is that this price rise should be a general rise in the price. The general rise in the price basically means it should be across commodities and it should be across the region or the country, right? So if the prices of only one or two commodity are rising, we will not call it inflation. There has to be a basket of goods and services for which the inflation is happening. Similarly, when the prices are rising only in a particular sales store, then it is not part of the inflation. When the prices are rising in all over the region, in all the shops, then it is part of the inflation, right? So it has to be persistent, it has to be appreciable, and it has to be general. These are the three peculiar features of inflation. Now friends, this inflation basically means upward movement in the prices or rise in the prices. So this upward movement of prices compared to what? Upward movement, but compared to which period or which price? So this upward movement of price, it is calculated on year basis. What is the meaning of year basis? So year basis means that, for example, when I say that on 30th November 2019 there is 4% inflation in the oil prices, so this indicates that on 30th November 2018, if the price were 100 rupees, today the price is 104 rupees. So from 100 rupees to 104 rupees, there is 4% year-on-year inflation in the oil prices. So this upward movement in prices has to be on year basis, that is on the corresponding date or for a corresponding period in the last year. So this is the another aspect regarding the inflation, right? So in this case, this particular 2018 year, it will be called as the base year, right? We will discuss the measurement of inflation in detail in the upcoming discussion. We will discuss everything, right? Now this inflation, it directly affects the purchasing power of the currency. Purchasing power of the currency. What does that mean? So, because of inflation, the same unit of currency will buy less number of goods. The same unit of currency will buy less number of goods. Let us see the example. So, for example, in the original case, let us suppose there is a person, Mr. A, and Mr. A has rupees 60 in his pocket. In the original case, he goes to buy the potato, and the price of potato per kg is rupees 10, right? So in 60 rupees, how much potato he can buy? He can buy 6 kg of potato, right? Now suppose the prices of this potato increase to rupees 12. There is inflation of 20%. So this inflated price is rupees 12. So when the price is rupees 12, how much he can buy in 60 rupees? He can buy only 5 kg, right? So you can see that 60 rupees earlier 60 rupees were able to buy 6 kilogram of potato, and now the same money is able to buy only 5 kilogram of potato. That means the purchasing power of the currency has reduced. In the same amount of rupee, we are able to buy less number of goods. So this is called that purchasing power is getting reduced because of the inflation, right? So it has an indirect impact upon the purchasing power of currency. Now there are different levels at which this inflation can be calculated. So it can be calculated at the production level, which is called as the producer price index, or it can be measured at the wholesale price level, which is called as the wholesale price index, or ultimately it can be calculated at the consumer level also, which is also called as the consumer price index. So these are the three levels of calculation of inflation, right? We will discuss about each of them when we discuss about the measurement of inflation, right? So this is about the basics of inflation. Now we will discuss what are the different causes of inflation.